Hi, my name is Max Shuster. This is my dad, Dave Shuster, and we're going to make smoked Gouda shrimp and grits for you today.
Fantastic. So there's a couple of different pieces that we have to get prepped to make this meal. We've got to produce the delicious grits. Mac's going to make the grits. I'm going to work on the shrimp and the sauce. So I'm actually let him go ahead and talk you through what he's doing with the grits first.
So basically, turn your burner on, and you're going to put some chicken stock or broth into the pan, and it's going to go to a boil. And basically, got to just wait for that now, and then you'll add your grits.
And while we wait for that to come up to temperature, I'm going to go ahead and start prepping the ingredients for the shrimp and the sauce. And the first thing we're going to need to do there is chop up some bacon. We've got a quick shortcut in our house we like to use because, well, we're kind of lazy cooks sometimes. I like to use kitchen scissors to cut my bacon when I'm making it into small bits. So I'm just going to sit here and just do this with it real fast. So we're going to cut the bacon up. The next thing I'm going to do is work on chopping up some mushrooms that are going to go in our sauce. This recipe actually is one that we found from Chef Jim Fisher from a restaurant in Florida, of all places, of which I guess you can consider to be part of the South. And it is still on the menu at his restaurant. I believe it's the Great Southern Cafe somewhere in Florida. I'm not really sure. I've actually had it there. We found it searching for food because we like to try to replicate other people's recipes in our house. So I'm going to chop these mushrooms. How are we doing on the chicken stock? Are we ready yet?
We're still waiting.
So I think at this point I've got what's prepped what needs to go in the sauce. So we're just going to have to wait for that to do itself. One note about shrimp. We do prefer to use peeled. Peeled is the easy shortcut here if they're already peeled and already deveined and butterflied a little bit. Some folks will leave the tails on when they make this dish. Some folks will not. Today we're using them with the tails already removed, which just makes it a little bit easier to eat and you don't have tails floating around in your broth. Are we boiling yet?
Yeah, so we're boiling, so I'm just going to turn the heat down a slight bit.
Okay.
So now what you're going to do is get that out of there. You're going to add your grits into your boiling chicken stock. Gonna do that.
Oh, thank you.
So then you're gonna keep that. You're gonna keep that stirring so it doesn't burn to the bottom of your pan.
Perfect. Mac, are our grits finished up here for the first step?
I'd say so. So now we're gonna add the butter into the shrimp and grits for this dish.
One of the keys in this dish is adding a lot of things to the grits so that they don't taste like grits and they taste like cheese and butter and deliciousness. So
now we'll add the cream, as he said, which will just make them a little thicker and, my opinion, slightly better taste, which will also give them that color that actually looks amusing. So now we'll add this smoked Gouda cheese, one of my favorite types of cheese, just for anything really.
Do you need me to give you a hand getting that
Yes,
out of there?
please.
All right, we'll just do it that way.
Thank you.
You can incorporate that in there.
And then you'll stir that until your cheese is melted in, and then you're good to let this sit off to the side until, you're ready to serve.
Now the best part, the bacon. Perhaps the most important part as well. I'm gonna get the rest of it off of here that we prepped too.
Why do you like bacon? Just questions.
It's bacon. Looks like our bacon's just about done, so we're gonna go ahead and add the rest of the ingredients and get the rest of this sauce and deliciousness going. So for a little bit extra flavor, we're gonna add in some shallots and some garlic, and we're gonna cook that just for 30 seconds to a minute just to release some flavor. We'll get that going in there. And then my favorite part's about to come. One of the things, if you don't know this about traditional Southern cooking, they like to use all the fats. So as if having a delicious pot full of bacon grease as the base for this sauce wasn't enough, we're going to go ahead and just add a little more butter to that, right? Throw that in there and get that melted down. All right, now we got that in there. We add just a touch of white wine for a little more robust flavor. It's a miracle I didn't manage to drink that while I was sitting here. I do like a little wine when we cook. All right, now that we've got that in there, we're gonna add the rest of our vegetables. So portobello mushrooms go in next. Get those out of there. Might get the rest of these off the cutting board, if you don't mind. All right. So we've got the mushrooms. The mushrooms are just about done now. So at this point, we're going to add the shrimp in, and we're going to let those We're actually gonna let those sit for a minute. I'm gonna stop stirring so that we can cook them one side and then the other, so they get cooked nice and evenly all the way through. Shrimp look pretty good, don't they? They're just about done.
Yep.
Now they're gonna be complete without a little bit of salt and pepper. So we're gonna add just a little bit of extra zest there. We like things a little spicy, so that hot sauce with my extra mushrooms going in now into that. We're gonna add in some spinach. I promised we'd put a little healthy in here. So we're gonna add a little spinach in. Let that wilt just slightly. A little bit more in there. And then to finish it, we're gonna use some heavy cream, which is gonna make a nice thick, robust and delicious sauce for all of that. So we're gonna just let all of that work together for another minute or two. So I think at this point, we can go ahead and show how it's plated up. So if you wanna go ahead and put a healthy dollop of grits, on the plate for us.
So as you're saying, put a fat glob, be reasonable. Let's not worry about going to the gym in the morning with this dish. You guys can just eat what you want.
Enjoy. All right, perfect.
There's your grits.
And then we're gonna just take, we can debate here about how many shrimp you give each person. We're gonna go ahead and just do it for here. We'll put 3 on here, which is about half of what we had. Just a little bit extra sauce. And then just a little bit of chopped green onion to finish it off.
And as every fancy person does.
Garnish. There you
Garnished.
go. There it is.
That's shrimp and
Well
grits.
done, sir. Shrimp and grits.